Welcome back, or hello if you're new here, to the Deltarune music ranking series. Last time, we took a look at Chapter 3's uniquely varied selection of songs, thanks to its general structure. I'd highly recommend you check that video out before this one, but it's not required reading, of course. Anyways, Chapter 4. Oh my god, Chapter 4. Whereas Chapter 2 made me realize that there was something cooking with this game, Chapter 4 deeply captivated me. After all the fun times we've had in these Dark Worlds, this is where the game starts to truly lock in, by showcasing a ginormous growth in terms of narrative. The stakes have never been higher, the plot points haven't been more interesting, and my tears have never streaked as hard. This is easily the greatest chapter the game has yet to give us, and so today we will cover why by combing through each song in order, just like last time. The same categories have been carried over: story, sound, and miscellaneous, and let me tell you, the balancing of songs on this tier list is so much more lopsided this time, more positively too. I don't want to wait any longer, so let's just get into it. Oh, and if you like what I'm doing here, subscribe, it'll help me out a bunch and get more people gushing the same way I am here. Let's begin. After a little confusing moment of Chris sealing the fountain that created TOBY World, we go to church as our first major location of the chapter, and man is old wooden rafters a mood setter. It feels just like, well, a song that would play at a church. It's weirdly nostalgic to me, despite religion never being a major aspect of my personal life, outside of going to church every middle school term because we had to. It makes the interactions that take place here feel very homey and meaningful, which is a lot of compliments to say about a song in C tier. Nearly half of the songs in this ranking are in either S or A, so yeah, there's a lot to say for a reason. Yep, that's a hymn. It's got the big Deltarune motifs and has some interesting lines about the shadows cutting deep, and naturally fits the church setting. A nice little atmospheric flourish to this beginning. Am I the only person who finds this song a little surprising? Like, in the sense that it exists at all? I don't know, man, it does make sense that we'd get a more upbeat version of the hometown theme because it's daytime, but vibes are saying something different to me. Ah well, this is simply a nice track, feeling like you're getting ready for a great day at the park with your friends. I especially like the extra swelling towards the end, it really makes it feel more grand and exciting on a re-listen. There's not much else to it though, so let's continue. What an amazing little bonding sesh between Chris and Susie right here. This truly feels like a pivotal moment in their relationship, despite it being so small scale and optional. Chris just eats their usual meal at the diner with Susie, who gets a giant sundae after being reminded of her time with Toriel here. They draw some funny things on the windows together, and leave. It's such a tiny yet impactful moment, especially thinking about what the rest of the chapter puts them through. The song as well only adds on to this simple feeling, not progressing much outside of the solo piano. It's the exact kind of nostalgic feeling everyone can get behind in my eyes. And yet this is still somehow considered mid by the grand scheme of this chapter's songs. I find Castle Funk to be a super interesting progression in atmosphere for Castletown. My Castletown, the song, has a more chill atmosphere, making the place feel like it's more of a respite from everything happening around you. And whilst Castle Funk definitely keeps that up, it is far from feeling chill. It's upbeat, reminds me of Persona for some reason, and is funky. You're filled with the power of a funky town indeed. I like to imagine all of the exciting new and flashy characters and structures from TOBY World led to this new atmosphere, as I can't imagine them with the previous Castletown song. Overall, it's a fantastic new track that already somehow feels nostalgic. You tell me, man. I can see some people not wanting me to include this song, because it is a slightly altered version of a Chapter 2 song very intentionally, but it's fire, so I don't care. This version of the song truly made me get it, you know? The structure's far better, the melodies are somehow more catchy here, and you're not freaking out over the fact that the Punch-Out minigame is back. My main hope with this inclusion is that we'll be getting even more additions to this minigame in the future, such as a Chaos King rhythm version, or maybe even a Guardian rhythm version. If you've been around since the beginning here on this channel, you know I love me some rhythm games, so please Tobias Foxenheimer! So, after around 2 hours in the Light World and Castle Town talking to every living being you find, you finally make it to Noelle's house, which has such a lovely Christmas aesthetic, being very self-aware of how much it is. Oh well, the song puts you right in the mood to explore this holiday household, but I do think it gets a little repetitive after a while. The catchiness of the main melody does even it out ultimately. It's a very fun track overall. This sequence is one of the most fascinating parts of the entire game to me. We get so much insight into every character present in the house at the moment. From gay shenanigans with Noelle and Susie, to whatever Asgore is doing with a black shard, to my personal favourite, Chris. We'll talk a little bit more about their struggles later, but the way they spend this time doing the things they love as if it is the only moment they can get to do these things, chokes me up, man. They've clearly got so much on their plate thanks to whatever Sir Phone wants them to do in the future, and seeing them simply collapse on the table after a glass of chalky milk, oh, it hits. They don't deserve what's happening to them thanks to our involvement, intentional or not. Oh yeah, the song is also a slower Lost Girl motif. I freaking love December Holiday. There is so much more we could talk about featuring this moment, but I'll leave it here. After Susie grabs the suspiciously code-branded guitar and Chris makes it cool, Asgore shows up uninvited to munch down on some cheese and crackers. Someone is a little miffed, however, and they suddenly arrive to make things right. What a bone-chilling entrance. Carol Holiday knows what's up. She enters the room and immediately becomes the focus of the scene, separating Noelle and Susie icebergs apart. She is presented as, like, the most important character ever here, clearly showing that there's something up about her relationships that we've yet to find out. I'm sure we'll find out real soon, but for now, this is a crazy moment to end the Light World segment off on, and leaves you in a fit of confusion up until you make it right here. A new Dark World has opened up in the church you were just at a few hours ago. Raring to go on another wild adventure, you of course jump right in. To be met with an atmosphere that can only be described as oppressive, yet mystical. There's a certain vibe that Atrium brings as the first song in the church Dark World. These places are not mysterious anymore, so you think you know what to expect going into it, but it still manages to subvert expectations and give us a tone we did not expect. This is obviously one of those good-in-the-moment songs where I don't really want to listen to it separately, but it does an exceptional job of setting things right. Welcome to the first of 3 Dark World themes in this chapter that complement one another. This and the 2 others we'll talk about feel like 3 different sides of the same conversation. We are introduced to the prophecy panels immediately amongst the song's beginning, and I believe this song is all about keeping in line with it. It feels very orderly and doesn't go anywhere you won't expect, highlighting the significance of this moment. The small music sync in the first room with the missiles appearing on the screen in time with the small choir sounds is exceptional, and there's a greater sense of grandeur throughout the entire track. You haven't heard anything like it in the entire game, showcasing the difference in tone, and it is simply such a satisfying track to listen to. An exceptional opener to a stunning location. Now let's fight these Gways. As I previously talked about in the Ruder Buster segment, that song represented a growth in Susie's attitude towards the Dark World, taking them more seriously, whilst keeping a more exciting, whimsical tone. However, this chapter introduces us to a brand new battle theme from now on, likely to be used for the next few chapters. I of course still adore Ruder Buster and its remixes, but oh my god, does this one deserve its place as the best normal battle theme in the game now. It keeps a confident vibe, yet removes the intensity and overwhelming nature of the previous ones. We get how Dark Worlds work now, and this theme reflects that by literally being named from now on. This title could represent so many things, and I honestly believe it reflects basically everyone's changing attitude together. From now on, Chris will try to show more of their own self. From now on, Susie will listen and try to understand her friend's plight. From now on, Rosé will stop hiding things and explain what needs to be explained. And from now on, they will all place their trust in each other, no matter what may happen. This song is one of the highlights of the entire soundtrack to me now, and I hope it keeps coming back for pretty much the entire rest of the game. I guess it really depends on what these last chapters will be like though. After finding safety in a small passageway from some mysteriously horrific dark entities, you come across Gus and Boom? I'm pretty sure nobody expected us to see this legend from Undertale return with a far more significant role, and his main theme is a perfect representation of his personality, taking a lot of Undyne's motifs and altering them to feel more whimsical and silly, whilst keeping the more militaristic, confident vibe of her songs just hits, dude. This is only the beginning of his exceptional themes throughout the chapter 2, so we'll talk more later. Just know that this works exceptionally as an intro to a new personal favourite character. What a homely feeling track, right? Gus and Study is essentially the hub of the main Dark World, connecting you to the different branching paths you can explore. It feels amazing spending ages finding some mysterious item far away from here, only to make your way back and just chill for a while. It's the one place in the chapter which is welcoming, thanks to the clear difference in colour scheme and temperature. From utilising his key motifs in really interesting ways to sounding entirely unique from the rest of the entire game's soundtrack, it is an extremely memorable theme that especially hits you on the feels on replay. After combing through the dark, only relying on their sense of sound to navigate, the main trio find themselves secluded, with no clear direction. Their only way to go is forward, but forward will only lead to horror. The closer they get, the more they realize that the dark has come to them. Where do I even begin with this now iconic boss fight? After all the drama and scary reflection this chapter has given us so far, it's nice to just have the biggest shitpost of a fight yet. Your mood immediately lights up the moment the main melody kicks in, feeling delightfully spooky and catchy. This is such an earworm of a track, and only becomes more memorable once you actually interact with the main mechanics of the fight. Of course, the now generational bit of the pumpkin saying, "You're taking too long," never gets old, and only gets funnier with every variation that stacks up. "You're long. You're You're taking too long. It's taking too long." God, how can you hate this thing? It has become one of the most charming moments of the game, always putting a huge smile on my face whenever thinking about it, despite it potentially being a cry for help by Mr. Foxenheimer himself. Ah well, this is Deltarune's humour at its finest, and the song itself is catchy enough to reach S-tier status for me. What? No. Ah! So, this song is really only used as set dressing for the room with the giant organ, but it works super well as that. It feels very abnormal and a little chaotic, making the location feel strangely creepy and significant. That's really about it though. There is practically nothing to this song outside of sounding odd. I feel like everyone has their own personal guilty pleasure track in this game. A song that you'd class as criminally underrated, you know? For me, that badge of honor goes to Ever Higher. It has been a go-to track for me ever since the chapter's release. I'm gonna wake some Undertale sleeper agents with this sentence, but it represents determination in a way no other track has in either game, really. It feels a lot more of a video gamey way of representing the idea, feeling a little Zelda-esque in its slow progression. I always imagine the fun gang grabbing onto the walls of the Dark World in time with the song, Chris feeling as they always do, Susie focusing on what's ahead, Rose feeling concerned at what could be around the corner, and the knight watching them from afar, simply curious about how strong their hope can get. The ending flourish always gives me goosebumps. All the little details in the backing instruments feel so nice. God, the community needs to give this song more attention. It's another small sense of confidence and whimsy in a chapter filled with horrific outlooks into the future, and I appreciate it so much for that. I am so ready to be known as the #1 Ever Higher stan, and I'm not complaining. Man, what an exceptional usage of Gerson's motifs to create a contemplative yet hopeful track. It feels sad, like there's some kind of disaster behind his fate, but makes you feel like you really learn something. This is one of the best songs in the game with hindsight of later story events to me, as it feels like it's telling you not to weep for him, but to learn. Remember his teachings, how they left an impact on you, and you will be able to grow. Speaking of growing, let's reach one of my favourite moments in the chapter. After Susie writes down another melody Chris needs to play, they struggle trying to play it effectively at first. After some words of encouragement from both other team members, however, their hands start to move on their own. Dude, I don't know why this song's called that, but this moment hits. The piano is Chris's way of expressing themselves. Their terrible situation under the player's control removes even this aspect of their own personhood. However, they manage to power through our complete control of their body, and manages to show their true skills in front of their closest friends. This is truly the only time where Chris is able to be themselves in front of others in this game. We can make choices that Chris would want to do, sure, but this is something they and only they wanted to do by themselves. Not only is all of that true, but I feel a more meta angle from this moment at play from TOBY himself too. When you really think about it, this moment marks the nearly direct halfway mark of the entire experience of Deltarune. This was TOBY's dream game, the ending literally came from one after all, and I'm very confident in saying that this is a direct recording of him playing the song on an actual piano. He wanted this moment to stand out, not just as a significant character moment for Chris, but as a significant moment for himself. He's nearly there, almost reaching his literal dream game's conclusion, and this song is a reflection of how far he's come. It is a truly tear-jerking scene that leads on to the conclusion of this Dark World beautifully. But, of course, there's one last thing we're missing here. Collecting all of the secret melodies opens the way past Gerson's fireplace, allowing Susie to challenge him to a simple duel. All she's gotta do is cut a strand of hair and... oh, wait, did I forget to mention something? Well, I guess there's the fact that Gerson is none other than... The secret boss against the Hammer of Justice in Chapter 4 is exceptional for so many reasons. It's another wish fulfillment boss against someone we didn't get to see much of in Undertale, like how Spamton Neo was essentially what a Metaton Neo fight would have been like. It's a true testament to Susie's growth throughout the game, putting her new skills to the test in such a compelling way. It gives us more insight into what the entire game could be saying, thanks to how the Lord of the Hammer books reflect on the prophecy, even letting us know about Chapter 5 a little. And, of course, the theme of the fight is a culmination of a decade's worth of build-up. Featuring Spear of Justice motifs, wise words, and, of course, freedom, it masterfully blends together a confident atmosphere with reflection, whilst keeping up the intensity for a fight. Bringing back the Green Soul mode is awesome, adding 4 extra directions to worry about, whilst making new bullets on top of that. This may be an easier fight than the Roaring Knight in Chapter 3, and I may also not like the song as much as other secret boss themes, but story-wise, it is my favourite secret boss in the game so far. Oh yeah, and before you ask, I've no-hit this boss too. I did it a lot quicker than pretty much all of the others, partially because of the larger focus on memory instead of skill. Let's hope Chapter 5's isn't the hardest thing ever made. Oh well, Hammer of Justice is a beautifully executed track, being the best thing we could have gotten out of a Gerson Boom fight. Let's go seal that fountain now. In a moment of weakness, as you fail to stop the knight once more, you look around the entrance of the church again, hoping for a clue as to how to go further. It is a moment of complete seclusion from everything around you, and this one-shot-esque track reflects this perfectly. Reading Susie's story about the piano at her old place hits so hard, and that's only half of what happens here. The reveal of how Gerson came to be in the Dark World is nothing short of gut-wrenching. Zero notes about the presentation of this moment, and seeing Susie's best attempt at recreating his letter to Alvin always gets me choked up. 12 AM is another atmospheric track first, but it always gets you thinking whenever it comes up, calming everything down around you. Well, Susie has one last idea of how to get the code to the church lobby. She focuses on what she wants, and stabs the earth. The lighting has changed in this new sanctuary. Thanks to the insanely awesome story beat of Susie making a Dark World herself, everything is off. Structures are misplaced, enemies are abnormally frozen in stone, with new or old ones taking their place. Dialogue makes zero sense, and the music is chaotic. The instruments clash with one another for focus, the melodies are strange and abnormal, and it suddenly cuts off when it simply decides it's been long enough. To me, the second sanctuary represents a side of the conversation that is against the prophecy entirely. Its chaotic nature shows how it crashes and tumbles its way to make something different. But the prophecy panels are the only things in this second Dark World that stay the exact same. No matter how much this sanctuary tries to break it, it stays in line no matter what. This song is a masterful display of how to break the norms with music correctly, as it makes no sense, yet sounds exceptional.
Left, right.
Ripple lives in an interesting spot in this game's soundtrack, as I feel like it's a song everybody at least respects, but nobody really loves or talks about it, you know? The scene is absolutely horrific, purely relying on sound in complete darkness just to get a grasp as to what you're facing. It builds and builds in suspense as you get more and more resources to finally understand what's going on, working exceptionally well with the mechanics of this fight. However, that is really all there is to it. There's no major leitmotifs present, and it just works as a dreadful track, leading to a terrifying reveal and a flawless scene to come. "13 AM takes the cake for me as the single best utilised song in Deltarune's soundtrack. There is obviously a lot I prefer listening to, but no other song in the game reaches the absolute genius use of it in the scenes it is present in. reminding me a lot of how Yume Nikki tracks are. There's a deep, visceral, hollow feeling to this track that works wonderfully to elevate Rose's plight. Finally getting answers as to why Rose doesn't explain everything is so liberating, but I don't think anyone expected it to be presented in such a harrowing way. Just the thought of Susie knowing what the final prophecy is terrifies him, alongside the fact that he already knows what happens despite never asking for this knowledge. He knows that no one deserves to know what happens in advance, and is so scared of implying anything specific that he just doesn't say a word unless absolutely necessary. It's such a compelling explanation for his problems, and Susie's comfort after hearing all of this never fails to make water swell up. This is just one of the scenes this song plays in too, the latter of which I will actually save for later. We're not ready to hear it yet, so after learning of the code from an unexpected place, we finally make it to the church's lobby and see something truly magical. This song represents the perfect middle ground in the argument. The prophecy is going to happen, whether we like it or not, so all we can do is hold our hope close and find a way to subvert it. It is logical yet still chaotic thanks to the now infamous time signature changes. It captures a sense of wonder, confidence, and progression that no other Deltarune song has given us, which only makes sense knowing what this place is. It's honestly tough to put into words how truly magnificent this song manages to be, but I will say that it also feels similar to how I described piano that may not be played that well in a meta sense. This is TOBY getting ever closer to his definitive dream game's completion, and so many moments of the song hit so hard thinking of it that way, such as... and... These last moments especially never fail to entrance me, feeling like a complete waltz of emotion and self. This is Toby Fox through and through, in a way we've never seen presented to us in any other media he has created. Bravo, Toby, and I'll be there for the rest of this creative journey. Well, after reaching a dark hallway, after getting help from the people you've recruited along the way, the night starts to play dirty, attacking you when you can't even see them. All of a sudden, however, your power glows brighter than ever before. The sheer amount of moments within this chapter that makes you tear up, dude. What do I even say here? This is the Fun Gang's hope on full display. They will help each other out, pick each other up when they're down, and stick together until the end of time. It is the moment that showcases the growth of the entire party, and the music reflects this in such a genius way. It uses the leitmotif of The Dark Truth, which was the song that plays during Rose's description of the Roaring in Chapter 2, which was a moment of sheer horror and realization. Dark Place flips this atmosphere on its head by empowering you in a way unreplicated by any other track so far. It has become one of my favourite moments of the entire game, getting me the closest to actually bawling of any moment yet. Well, let's face the night. Heavy Footsteps is the beta version of the next track. It is filled to the brim with aura and confidence. You know what you're gonna do next, and you know it's gonna be tough. It is a brilliant mood setter for the final segment of the Dark World, and... wait, what are you doing, Rory Knight? No, don't... We got a Titan in Chapter 4. A Titan! This was an endgame thing back in the Chapter 2 days, right? Oh man, and the music really sells the absolute horror and dread of this sequence. It was so sudden, and the sheer panic comes through in the main melody. But there's still that final peak of hope when the ever higher motif returns, my goat. That's when the panic slows and you remember to keep your hope shining brightly. It is a brilliant execution of horror and hope all in a 3-minute track, and leads on to a bit of a strange one. Spawn is essentially the dread presented in Crumbling Tower translated to a boss track, and it is done very well. I think it'll probably come back in some way because it's currently only used in a single battle you can finish before the song even loops, so I'd honestly rather wait until then to give it a true genuine shot. I still really like it at the moment, of course, but it's not the craziest thing in the game anyway, outside of the strange connection to Board Clear I mentioned in the Chapter 3 vid. Well, it's finally time to face our fears. Everyone's fears. Just remember to shine brightly within the darkness, as you won't be able to see far against... Guardian is my current favourite song in the entire Deltarune soundtrack. Absolutely everything about this song comes together to create an unforgettable 10 out of 10 experience for myself. The build-up to this moment is masterful alone, from the dread of the last songs contrasting the sheer majesty and power of this track. And speaking of the track, altering the ever higher motifs in the flute twists the melody into something a lot more horrific and dreadful, heightening the insane stakes this moment already has. The melody after this only continues this dread, focusing the attention to your emotions instead of the being you face. But then comes the greatest moment, which can only be reached when you unleash your power to new heights. This is the greatest executed part of any song in this game, bar none. The power of the guitar before is such a genius build-up, but then it crashes down into a mystical collection of melodies that make me feel as I did when I heard Hopes and Dreams for the first time. Absolutely everything works here. I don't dislike a single thing about this moment, even the boss. I've seen people disappointed at the difficulty of the fight, with some finding it too easy considering the moment itself, but I had probably the best experience possible on my first playthrough. I cut it really close, nearly dying, but still managing a first try, which was unbelievably liberating to do. It's also crazy to think how the Jackenstein fight foreshadows the mechanics in this fight secretly, like, what? In conclusion, Guardian is a monumental achievement in Deltarune's soundtrack, breaking the boundaries of what a song in this game can really do. But despite all of this power and hope, there just doesn't seem to be a way to defeat this unfeeling monster. All the party can do is to just keep on fighting to delay what seems to be inevitable. Gerson returns in the nick of time to send off this beast in the most exciting way imaginable. It is such a triumphant moment, scoring a scene of pure excitement exceptionally. All my homies love the old man, and if you disagree, I will just not believe you're real. Well, let's seal this titan. The worlds have been saved, for now at least. The night is still out there after all, and wait, Susie's gone ahead. Rose doesn't know what's past here, so there could be something bad. This moment is where I believe 13 AM is best utilized. Susie now knows what the final prophecy holds, and considering her reaction, it must be a tragedy. It's such a depressing and hollow note to end the chapter on, which is absolutely perfect. Susie's arrogant yet endearing hope, Rose's utter breakdown, and your chance to finally comfort him, it's absolutely masterful. I wouldn't be surprised if my top 10 story moments in the entire game exclusively consist of Chapter 4 at this point. And we're still not done. After sealing the Dark Fountain, You leave the church and begin to make your way home past the middle of the night. And as Susie states, it smells nice after the rain. How does Toby keep one-upping himself with the elite ball knowledge in this game? This song is a direct response to the track It's Raining Somewhere Else from Undertale, the one during the scene with the exceptional dialogue with Sans about his relationship with Toriel. If the story beats somehow didn't make you cry before, this absolutely will, as it leaves such a contemplative and hollow feeling to this walk back to Chris's house. All of the Sans motifs are completely gone here, leaving the song itself feeling hollow even outside of the game's context. There was absolutely no better place for this song in the game than right here, especially considering the 10-year long con Toby's put us through for it. Let's finally get home and take a well-deserved rest. I mean, this is just awkward in every sense of the word. Toby really sells the horrible feeling of getting home to a drunk mother hanging out with some random guy on the street, like, wow. You can tell by the way Chris leaves on their own that they just want nothing to do with what's going on, especially after all the misery they just experienced. Toriel isn't completely in the wrong here, by the way. She can hang out with whoever she wants and get drunk, but it was such an unfortunate time to do it, and seeing Chris squirm in their bed unable to sleep is just heartbreaking. Oh, and the song's fine. It uses a ghost fight motif with a little variation. Susie coming in, probably crashing out of the two, is so nice to see, and Chris wanting to go talk to her themselves on their own is such a unique and fascinating development. Of course, however, they have a promise to make, so they stay behind. What can I say about Neverending Night that I haven't already said about other songs? The drama is ever present, making you reflect on everything that just happened in such a beautiful way. It really feels like a major stepping stone of the journey has been reached, which is amplified by the return of Mr. Wing Gaster at the end here. It's such a wonderful song that ends this absolute masterpiece of an experience in the best way possible. We are only just halfway through the game, by the way. This is an extremely small and altered version of the legend in the opening, twisting it to be off because of the fact that Rosé's version is kind of outdated now, to say the very least. It's such a great oh god moment once you finish the chapter, but that's all it really is. Works for what it's doing, but not much else. This is just beautiful, man. It sort of feels like the main thesis of Chapter 4's themes in one package. No matter how bleak things may seem, if you cling onto your hope, you can succeed. That's kind of all I can say that's really new. There's been so many exceptional songs in this chapter that get this point across as well, to where I can just finish this segment here. Snaz incarnate. You don't know who the hell could be in this room, but you're seeing anyway, because you need to know who Mike is. It's time to finally get some definitive, true, genuine, real, actual answers on who Mike is.
Did somebody say Mike? Who the hell are ya? Just waltzing in onto people's rooms without asking? Okay, listen. I'm gonna read this script thing I found, and hopefully it glazes the heck out of me, and you can't stop it, okay? Okay. Cat Swing is the 30th song in Deltarune Chapter 4's soundtrack, and the 76th song on official releases of Chapter 3 and 4 soundtracks. It plays during the optional Mike boss fight, where you face off against 3 already existing enemies who pretend like they are the real Mike. Oh, wait, what? That's just ridiculous. There's only one Mike, and that's me. Right, Mike? How about you?
You know there's only can be one Mike and that's me, see?
Don't just copy what I said, that's stupid.
Okay, cool about Mike.
Okay, smooth them out.
Right.
Anyways, that song's a pretty great one if I do say so myself, with a little snazzy vibe taken over from volume adjustment. Yeah? That's, probably good. Let's talk about the next one. This one's got an addicting main melody that just never stops throughout its runtime. We even found this cool collection of sounds to use towards the end that's really satisfying and gives a freeing vibe to the song, if you get what I'm saying. You guys get me, right?
Yeah, sure, Mr. Mike.
It's Motormouth, you goddamn bitch. Sorry about that, wasn't supposed to be there. Let's keep on talking because it's also, man.
See you guys in the next video. I'll be there, I swear to God. How did those guys get here? Oh yeah, Tanner can do bullshit to our videos. Good one, man. Well, we're finally done at least, so let's finish this video. Yeah, this is an actual song on the official soundtrack, so I gotta talk about it. It's obviously really funny just in concept alone, but it's not like I actually care about it further than that. And with that, we're finally done here, so let's end the video for real this time. If you somehow couldn't tell from how much glazing came from this video, Chapter 4 is without a doubt my favourite in the game at the moment. It does absolutely everything the best out of any other chapter in the game, with maybe the exception of humour thanks to Chapter 2. I really don't have any major problems with any aspect of this masterfully crafted experience. It alone would reach my top 25 favourite games of all time, but thanks to the 3 extra pieces of it that are currently out, it reaches just below my top 10, literally number 11. I'm sure we'll get there sooner rather than later, so we can only wait for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the future. Goodbye. Never mind, chapter 5 is, like, out, so that'll be next, and then we'll be redoing chapters 1 and 2, okay? See you then. Goodbye.